minutes. Brought to you by BC Tel, the official provider of telecommunications to the Commonwealth Games.
Back in New York City, where the Vancouver Canucks will endeavor to leap tall buildings in the third period. It's 3-1, the New York Rangers leading Vancouver at the end of 2 periods of play in Game 7 of the 1994 Stanley Cup Final. Wayne Gretzky, I think, was 23, Trevor, but Dick Irvin was pondering at 24. Be a young captain to carry the cup. Obviously, you got your work cut out for you, and I said to you, it was really tough to get back in it the way you did, and then a power play goal for the New York Rangers.
Yeah, we were right there, and you know, I'm not sure about the calls we got against us, but if we can just get a kill there, you know, we're 2-1. We're 3-1 now. It's going to be a little tougher, but I think we can do it.
And you made a good point about finally Terry Gregson gives you the power play chance. Rangers in the attacking zone, you don't expect, but you get it. However, it comes late in the period. And what was your observation?
Yeah, well, it's tough, you know, especially when they get the first 3 or 4 power plays. They're really rolling at that point, and you know, the ice gets so poor the last 5 minutes that it's tough to get anything going. So hopefully we can maybe catch a break early in the third.
Enough about that, though. Mike Keenan held a press conference. There's a lot of talk about the refereeing. We'll keep off that for a second and ask you about how you believe you can work on them, because obviously the shorthanded goal, and we'll show it in a minute, but it seemed you had a better period in the second. And what did you do differently?
Yeah, I think so. I think we skated a little better. I think we have to get the puck to the end boards and try and get some pressure, and that first man has got to go a little bit harder and get in there and force some things. So hopefully we can do that and put some pressure and get some breaks.
You yourself personally, how'd you feel in the first period? Game 7 and all. Tell me, take me through the pregame meal around 4 and coming to the rink.
Oh, there wasn't a lot of sleep this afternoon. Things went pretty good last night, and you know, it's just the type of situation where you try and stay as loose as possible, which is difficult. The first shift was a little nerve-wracking, but you know, right now it's just like playing any game, and you know, I think the guys feel pretty comfortable.
Let's look at the goal you did score that cut the deficit to 2-1, and you can tell me about it.
Well, I hopped on for Kirk here, and Brian Glynn kind of kicked it up with his foot, and I just wanted to protect the puck from the defender, and got a little break through the arm there, it looks like, and managed to go in.
Why were you the guy that jumped on her? You always?
Well, I was just the next guy up, so Kirk was you know, flying to the bench here on a delayed penalty call, so we got a break there.
What did Pat say after 20 minutes, and what's he saying likely in the room now?
Well, you know, first 20, I think we sat back and a little tentative. I think he wanted us to be as aggressive as possible and you know, just be loose and go at it, and nothing's going to change here. We gotta really put it to him and hopefully get some breaks, like I said.
You need to at least get it to OT. What about a word about Medicine Hat? You and Murray Craven got the nice letter of endorsement from 1,500 fans.
Yeah.
Want to say hi to them?
Well, it'll always be hometown. You know, it's always home, and enjoy going back there. And I'm sure the ratings are good there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As they were for those Memorial Cups that you won. Good luck in the third period.
Thanks.
Trevor Linden, captain of the Vancouver Canucks, trying to add another cup to his trophy room. Here's a live shot at the Pacific Coliseum where they cherish their captain. 3-1, the Rangers leading. We'll be back to talk hyperbaric chamber next on Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
After 40 minutes. Brought to you by BC Tel, the official provider of telecommunications to the Commonwealth Games. You've seen
Finishing touches on their first Stanley Cup since 1940, a 2-goal cushion at the end of 2 periods of play. I am in studio at the moment with 2 nervous doctors. I'll explain that in a moment. Ross Davidson and Doug Clement set to join me to talk about this futuristic-looking fountain of youth that's been the story in Vancouver throughout the season. The Vancouver Canucks players rest in this hyperbaric chamber, and it changes, if not with the placebo effect, with technology, the way that players are recovering from injuries. And Dr. Doug, who's well known to our audience too for World Track and Field and as coach of the national track team, give me the story on this machine. Is it legit?
Well, it's a well-established medical therapy going back many, many years. Initially used to treat diving incidents, you know, in the bends and things of that kind. And it's known to increase the oxygen tension within the tissues by some 13%. And we think around the areas of inflammation, this may speed up recovery.
Is there, Ross, any difference between that machine and a decompression chamber?
The difference is in the design. This is a monoplace unit, which is a much smaller unit. This one's only designed to go to 2.5 atmospheres of pressure, as opposed to the others, which can take you down to 6 or 7. And so technologically this is not as advanced as some of the other machines and doesn't need a major trained technician to operate it.
Doug, we're going to look at Greg Adams going into the chamber. Tell me, do you just go in it to feel good, or is it for specific injuries that it's specialized?
Well, initially we used this for injuries only. The players began to request using it for recovery, but at this time of the season with a long playoff, most athletes are bringing in some aches and pains and bruises which can be improved by exposure to it.
Have you used it in track and field?
No, this is the first unit in Canada, and it's really only been 2 seasons in Europe with the Celtics and with Chelsea, the 2 major soccer clubs there.
Ross, let's talk a bit about the guy that runs the show with this machine. Tell us who it is and how he got involved, or do you know the whole detail on that?
Well, this is Larry Ashley, who's our trainer, who heard about it and went to England to have a look at it in August, and was very impressed with the results that they had, so talked our management into trying it. And they bought it initially, they leased it for 3 months, and then with the results that we were getting with it, then we purchased the machine.
And Doug or Ross, either one of you want to take a crack again at simplifying the explanation of how it works exactly?
Well, the athletes inspire 100% oxygen at 2 atmospheres of pressure.
Don would say, you mean breathe in?
That's it, you breathe in deep. And they put this mask over the athletes, and we supply compressed oxygen to them at 100% capacity. And at the 2 atmospheres of pressure inside, it drives oxygen into solution in the tissues, thereby increasing the oxygen within the tissues and areas where injury may be.
Well, that's exactly what I thought. By the way, good luck in the 3rd period. Both of you have been a big part of the Vancouver Canucks' success all season long, so we wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Ross Davidson, Dr. Doug Clement, eagerly looking forward to the 3rd period here at Madison Square Garden, New York. Dana Merson, by the way, said it's the greatest tank that he's ever been in, and hopes that the rest of his team isn't in one tonight. We'll be back on Molson Hockey Night in Canada and the Stanley Cup Final on CBC in a moment.